Your emotion had an echo in so much space. When you out there without care, I was out of tone. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just know too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You think you're in control? I think you're crazy.
Hey, everybody. Somebody just said to me, you look upset. I don't mean to give off the vibe that I'm frowning. Please tell me in the comments below, guys, if you can hear me loud and clear. I'm hoping this broadcast is going to just run smoothly without a hitch because, you know, sometimes I know that when I come to you live at this time of the day, sometimes the internet just messes me up, you know. So here it is. I look a bit orange in there. I still don't have my lighting correct. But I wanted to jump on here very quickly, guys. I know it's a beautiful Saturday. What is it? Saturday afternoon now. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hoping that whatever you guys are doing, you're doing productively and you're doing it right, you know. And I wanted to come here to you and sprinkle some SML TV dust on a topic that seems to me like everybody's talking about. And that's the idea. The idea is that, you know, we take trending topics, and if I feel that I have an opinion on it, I will come to you and I will give you my opinion. And I'm always amused at certain people that I was reading a comment in the comment section not too long ago. Someone says to me, why would I just sit down? I mean, why wouldn't I give an opinion on something that I have an opinion on? You know, but sometimes you get these PF guys that try to intimidate you into pushing you into a corner. That doesn't work. That's the old PF way of doing it. And it simply has no place in modern day real politics. That era, that dispensation of intimidation because somebody says something that you don't like, I think is over. You know, so here it is. Let me bring you up to speed. Many of you know that there's a young lady named Jean Chisenga. She's been making the news here lately. She said something in Parliament that has ruffled some people's feathers, and we're going to talk about this. But before we get into that, I think it's important to establish who is Jean Chisenga. In a nutshell, Jean is a 35-year-old single woman who belongs to the Patriotic Front Party and is a member of parliament for Mambilima Constituency over there in Wense District, Wapula Province. That's who she is. Well, a few days ago, and many of you know this, a few days ago, Jean shouted at the president, "Your lies are too much." And to which the president calmly approached her and politely engaged with her. And I want to stop there for a moment before we talk about what she alleged and why she said what she said and how she said it. Let's for a moment talk about the way, because if you remember, the president was on his way out of Parliament, the main chamber there. He was walking out, and he does as the presidents do. As you're walking out, you're engaging with a few people, you're talking with a couple of people, and he's walking out with his entourage and his team. And this young backbencher shouts, in other words, in English, what she was saying was that your lies are too much. You're telling too many lies, she says. And in that moment, the president turns around and he calmly approaches her and he talks to her for a few minutes. Now, that right there speaks about his presidential qualities as an individual. Very few presidents do that. Very few presidents will calmly approach you and engage you in the manner that HH did. And I think that too oftentimes the Zambian public very quickly gloss over that. Too oftentimes the Zambian public very quickly ignore that, when we shouldn't ignore that. That's a telltale sign that you have a calm, collected, cool as a cucumber president who doesn't allow things like that to ruffle him. Sure, he's human. He's human and he has feelings like you and I. The word of God says that he's touched by the infirmity of our iniquity. He's human. But I love the way that he responded. And you're not talking enough about that. Now, let's get to what she said. She basically called the president a liar. Now, you must understand that this title or this label as a liar is a concerted, machinized effort by the PF to cement a narrative that they have spun, and they want it to be ingrained in the Zambians' psyche. Understand this, and I posted this earlier. There's no such thing as a perfect president. There's no such thing as a person and a president that fulfills everything they set out to do. I'll never forget, and I often quote this. I will never stop quoting this. During the 2021 elections, the campaigns of 2021, many of you know that I was hired not only to cover the PF rallies, but I was also hired to cover UPND rallies. I did both of them, and I did them in my own style and in my own way. Both parties paid me for that service. This channel, this Facebook page, is a commercial channel. That's the reason it's called Simon Werelane Television. It's a commercial channel. It's no different from Diamond TV. It's no different from Movie TV. Yes, the sizes of our audiences are different, but the purpose and the desire and the objective is the same: to disseminate accurate information, to entertain, to educate, and to uplift. That is our mantra. So, during the 2021 elections, I'll never forget former and sixth President Edgar Lungu saying, "Development has no destination." Oh, I love that. Out of everything, do you realize that out of everything ECL ever said on the campaign trail, and I heard everything he said, I only remember that one line because it was so profound. It was so earth-shattering. It was so cataclysmic, because in that one sentence, ECL encapsulated what service is. He encapsulated what tenure is. What ECL was basically saying is each president comes to the plate, not the food plate, the plate, like the platform. Each president comes to the platform and they do their best to serve the people that elected them. And once you're done with your tenure, and this is the reason we are not a monarchy. Zambia is not a monarchy. We do not have kings and queens that preside over the affairs of the entire nation. We're not a monarchy. We do not rule in perpetuity. We do not rule, we serve. When the Zambian people go to the ballot box and they elect us, they are placing us in a position of service. And that service has a tenure. It has a time frame. It has a limit. So within that tenure, we do everything within our power to serve the people of Zambia to the very best of our ability. And so here it is. When you try to label HH as a liar, you're being disingenuous, because along with the things that he has done as an administration, and we can all agree that in the 3 years that this administration has been put in place, major strides have been made, significant moves have been made, incredible improvements have been made in many different areas. So for anyone to stand up and say, no, that's being disingenuous. They've only been in office 3 years. And even if you gave HH 20 years, he still wouldn't fulfill everything he set out to do. Why? Because of tenure, because of a time frame. We can only do so much. We can only do our part. The objective is to serve the people of Zambia. That's the objective. But when you play patty cake, baker man, when you play this politics of Jean Chisenga, she stood up in parliament sounding like a city market bus driver, where she yells and says, that's the modus operandi of the PF. That insolence, because first of all, you must understand, even though we are Zambians and we have a constituency, we do have a culture. Okay, we have a culture. Let's not lose sight of that. She's 35 years old. She screams insults at the president, which really, that is an insult when you call somebody a liar on the floor of the House. That's not opposition politics. That's not playing by the rules. That's being insolent. It goes against intam. Now, you may disagree with that, but that's just the bottom line. Because if you take her to task, if you put her in a corner and say, when you call him a liar, what do you mean? Are you going to weigh what you're calling a lie against the many things that they have accomplished? We understand your opposition leaders. We understand that. But when you cross the line on the floor of the House and you sound like a lumpen and you call the head of state a liar in the face of glaring accomplishments, all for the purpose of cementing a negative narrative that you want to be ingrained in the psyche of the Zambian people, then you're not being genuine. You're being disingenuous. So the bottom line is this. Chisenga has had her 15 minutes of fame. Chisenga comes from a political party that glorifies insults, that glorifies insolence, that glorifies lawlessness. Not too long ago, I was watching a video of her trying to present a document in Parliament in front of the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House said, is the document that you have in your hand, has it been certified? She says, no, it hadn't been certified, but let me read it and then you can determine whether or not this document is certified. The Speaker said, Nelly Muti said, no, young lady, backbencher, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, in this house, we follow rules. In this house, there is a set of rules that we all have to adhere to. We can't flout the rules because you feel a certain way. Follow the rules. And this is the type of party that this young lady comes from. A party of insolence. Now, Mishwati PF, a PF member, alomfuika. It's in the tone of their voice. It's in the things they say. That's all they know. Insolence. But here it is, right now in this dispensation. I am so proud that we have a head of state that can politely engage somebody that's just called him a liar, and knowing full well, yes, he hasn't fulfilled everything, but he's done a lot in the 3 years that he's been here. Remember, he's been here 3 years only, a paltry 3 years. If he can do what he's done in 3 years, imagine what he can do in 10 years. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep, boy. A lot of PF guys just got sick right there. A lot of PF guys just fainted right there. Oh, we can't have him for 10 years. Well, it's up to the Zambian people. It's up to you and I. It's up to the Zambian people. It's not up to a clique of thieves like the notorious Patriotic Front. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. A few comments from you guys. Somebody says, you're right. I agree with you. Insolence. Sele. And, you know, like I said, Jean's had her 15 minutes of fame. And, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I guarantee you, if she continues doing that, being a young backbencher, she's not going to get very far. She's not, you know. Anyway. All right, guys.